I just got back from maternity leave, and I swear I've got a whole new Squarespace to work with. I am so excited to record this video to share with you some of the brand new features that Squarespace released at the end of 2025 and beginning of 2026. I'm Becca from Inside the Square. I am a Squarespace Circle member, Circle leader, Platinum partner, the ultimate Squarespace nerd. And that's exactly why I talk about Squarespace here on my YouTube channel. But this video, this is an epic one because we're going to talk about some of the amazing new features that they just released. Now, here's a quick list for you of what we're running down. We're going to talk about the new transformations, the new animations. That's right, we can do hover effects inside Squarespace. I'm also going to be talking about some of the SEO and AIO optimization features. And then last but not least, some cool features that are for Squarespace Circle members specifically. Underneath this video, I've got links to all the support articles, but without further ado, let me share my screen so I can show you exactly why I'm so excited. One of the first things you're going to notice is this brand new home screen. Now you see this option that says customize home and edit site, and you might think that this home screen has to do with the home page of your website, but it absolutely doesn't. This is the home for the Squarespace program. So on the left-hand side here, we have this getting started checklist that goes through a few options of what you can do to make sure your site's ready for launch. You also have some links to the resources from the Squarespace tutorial team down here. There's a lot of interesting information on here, but be aware that this is not the homepage of your website. The only thing related to your homepage here is the preview of your homepage on the right-hand side. To actually edit your site content, select Edit Site, Edit Pages, or over here on the left-hand side of the screen, click Website, and here you'll be taken to your actual website. This is what it's going to look like. Now, if you see Edit, you see the page title, and you see these options on the right, that means you're actually looking at the preview of your website, and you can click Edit to hop in and start making changes. Now, this is where the magic happens, the new features that I'm so excited to share with you. So right away, I want you to notice on the screen here, do you see this little icon? This is the new layers icon, and we're totally going to get into that. But before we start there, I want to show you the most exciting new features of all. Click on any content block and select the edit option, and you're going to see new options under design. Here we have transformations, and then we also have a new tab called animations. That's right, Squarespace has animations. We can set different triggers for animations, for hover, a press, a loop, a scroll, appear, a follow. So many cool options. But before I get ahead of myself, let's start at the very, very beginning talking about design. Now, in these transformations, we can adjust opacity. That's how transparent something is. We can reduce it to pretty darn close to 0 by dragging it all the way to the left, or take it up to 100, dragging it all the way to the right. We have rotate, which is exactly what you think it is. There we go. And we also have scale to increase the size horizontally or vertically. That's X versus Y. There we go. Then we also have offset. This is going to change where it sits in relation to the actual content block itself. So notice how the edge of the content block is still highlighted by these dots and these white squares, but that blue line is showing that we're moving it across the x-axis off of where that content block is. I can drag it all the way off my site. Pretty cool, right? Now we also have this for the y-axis as well. This will move things up and down away from where the content block container actually is. And then last but not least, we have skew. Now check this out. This is going to skew the text horizontally and vertically. Now, something really interesting to note is this anchor feature at the very bottom. I'm going to go ahead and click the X button to reset all of these things that we just did. We'll turn them all back to 0. Now you can hit the X button or you can physically type with your computer here to make sure everything is set back to normal. Scale is at 100%. There we go. All right, now we're going to click on this anchor option. Here you can see all of these different dots. Top left, center right, center left, center, center, and center right, bottom left, center, and right. Now watch what happens when I select bottom right, and then I select rotate. Check this out. Do you notice how the bottom right corner is the anchor of that rotation? Pretty cool, right? Now we'll select top right, and then we'll adjust the rotate here, and you'll notice the top right corner is the anchor of that rotation. Definitely an important thing to know when you're playing around with these transformations. Now, the other thing I want to mention is watch what happens when we rotate a block, and then we say, okay, let's go ahead and duplicate this block. It's going to keep the exact same transformation that we had before. Really helpful to know if you're creating content or a transformation and you want to use it in multiple parts on your website. You also have the save section feature. If we click this option, it's going to save the same transformations there, everything that it looks like on the screen right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete this extra content block, and we'll click into this one again because I've got more stuff to show you. Now I'm going to go ahead and reset the rotate so we can see exactly where we are starting from the beginning. And I realized that duplicating it, I moved the content block around. So let's pull it back up to the top. There we go. Okay, hopping back into edit for this specific content block, let's click on the animation options. These are so exciting. As a longtime Squarespace user, I am so happy we finally have these features. Clicking the plus sign for triggers, you can see here we've got hover, press, loop, scroll, appear, and follow. Follow will follow your cursor around. You know what? I'm just going to show you. All right, we'll start with hover. Let's say we select the jump animation and we click these options here to change which transformations we want to happen. We can also affect the timing. Do we want it to ease in with the spring? Do we want it to be linear? Do we want it to go out and back? Do we want it to ease in and then out? We've got so many options. I don't want this video to take 18 hours, so I really want to encourage you to explore these on your own because each one of these with bounce, duration, and delay, there's a lot of cool stuff to check out. So let's go ahead and start with here. We have the end of the hover transformation. It's going to end with this rotate and slight offset. Now, if I click out here, we'll go to the full site preview. That's another new thing they did. They changed that preview button, and it kind of looks like a play button, in my opinion. I'm really not a big fan. But let's go ahead and go to the site preview. There we go. And now when I hover over it, it's going to change. Squarespace did that without any extra code. It's pretty amazing, right? Now, this is a super basic version of that because there are so many things that you can do with these transformations, but I still wanted to show you how you access this. And again, I want to encourage you to hop into here and play around with these options because there are so many different settings you can explore. Now, I did mention these other options. We've got press, we've got loop. On a scroll means it'll change as you're scrolling through. On appear means when it loads, and then follow means it will actually follow your cursor around. So let's say we've got slide and follow, and we're going to click on this option here, and it's already going to create a little bit of a mess. Watch what happens. We'll select to save and exit. We'll take a look at the site preview, and now when I move my cursor around, it's doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Isn't that wild? Now again, please play around with this on your own. This is obviously not ideal for my own layout. If I have a headline here, I'm not going to want it to go crazy based on my cursor, but maybe you've got a cool image you want to play around with. Definitely check out these edit options here. Again, select the content block and select this icon here, and you'll find these inside the animation feature. Now you can have more than one animation trigger, which is definitely fun. Click the plus sign to add more. Let's go ahead and add another one because I want to show you what it looks like when you have more than one. And then you can click the trash can to delete it if you change your mind. Again, all super customizable. And after you've added a trigger, click on the trigger and you can make some changes. Now, the one other really exciting update that Squarespace made has to do with mobile optimization. Check this out. When we take a look at the mobile preview of our website, we still see all the same content blocks. But if we hop back here in desktop, we can actually adjust what shows up on desktop and what shows up on mobile. So take a look at this example right here. This is my scrolling marquee. It's really big here on desktop. And if we hop over onto the mobile view, we can see the large terms like scrolling across the screen. If we look at this on the mobile view, it's just going to be a little too long. It doesn't really look that great on mobile, so I don't really want to show it on smaller screens. I can click this new icon right here to adjust the layers, and I can say, hide this on mobile. Now it's completely gone, and the only place you're going to see it is if we look at the desktop version of our site, then we can see it there. So again, that's hide on mobile. Click over to the mobile view. This is a new layers feature. Now here we can select this option and we can say turn a layer on or off. Awesome, right? Now for anyone using an online store in Squarespace, we also have the ability to adjust the mobile view of your store layout. So if we click on mobile view and select edit, you'll see here I actually have 2 columns of products inside my store. We can select edit section, and under the design tab, this is where you can say I want this to be a list, which would be 1 column, or a grid, which would be multiple columns. So definitely a cool thing to edit specifically on the mobile version of your Squarespace store. Now last but certainly not least, we have the new SEO SEO AIO tab. SEO standing for search engine optimization and AIO for AI optimization. If you click on this option, you're going to see a lot of cool features that are powered by something Squarespace likes to call Beacon AI. Now, this is a demo site, so I don't have a lot of content here, but what we can do using this feature is select the optimize option or dig into metadata and images with alt text. This is how you can use Squarespace Beacon AI to scan the content of your website and make sure that it's well optimized for search engines to have it show up in results, as well as AI to cite your website in its answers. Now, there are a lot of different details about AI optimization and search engine optimization that I'm not going to cover in this video. I do have links directly underneath this video for some help, but this is my favorite feature here that I had to point out in this overview video, and that is the alt text option. If you select this arrow right here, you'll be able to add alt text to your images all in one space. Now you see here Squarespace is loading the Beacon AI program, and here it'll give me a list of pages where I can work on the metadata, which is the description and the title of the page. But if I select next, it's going to show me the images in my website that don't have alt text. Here's where it gets even more exciting. Beacon AI analyzes the image and writes the alt text for you. Now a reminder, if a website browser can't load an image, it'll display the text. But for accessibility reasons, anyone using a screen reader to understand the content of a website, it's going to read the alt text. So this is not a place to stuff keywords, okay? That's super important to remember. This is a place to describe the image. But in terms of SEO and AIO, you can use some keywords to describe your image. For example, on my own website, I have a picture of myself, and instead of just describing me, I also say this is a photo of Becca Harpain, Squarespace expert, wearing her nerd t-shirt. Make sense? Okay, I hope that that's a helpful example for you. But again, the Squarespace Beacon AI feature is really cool. I'll go ahead and click out of here. We'll select leave, and I want to show you exactly where I got there. SEO AIO, underneath website on the left-hand side of your screen. Select images with alt text to reach that alt text feature. But if you want to explore all of the other cool options that we have with Beacon AI, click the optimize option on the top right-hand corner. All right, that wraps it up for this tutorial, my friend. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to learn more about Squarespace, check out my site, insidethesquare.co. And if you want more videos like this one, I'm going to be coming back here on YouTube regularly, at least once a week. So please subscribe to my channel to learn more about all the cool things that Squarespace can do. Thank you so much for watching. And most importantly, have fun with your Squarespace website. Bye for now.